All right. Good morning, everybody.
They just took us off.
It is
That's weird.
Wednesday. What day? Oh, it's the 16th, day after tax day. Hey, pro tip, you can save a lot of money on taxes by not paying them. Just kidding. Don't not pay your taxes.
My live went down, so I apologize.
You don't.
Yeah,
You don't want those
Instagram
guys
said it.
coming after you because they don't stop.
They do not stop. Of course, they're a little preoccupied right now, so you might get a few more months out of it. But right on. So thanks everybody for joining this morning. We've got Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer Blake with Shea Homes.
With Shea Homes will be on here in a little bit.
She is on right now.
Oh, she's on right
Yeah,
now.
She's finishing up something, so she'll be ready in about 5 minutes.
Jennifer's iPhone. Awesome. Yep. Cool. And what else do we got today? We had something else. Oh, Aaron's going to be sharing about difficult clients.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. So it's a jam-packed episode of South Bay Grading Bid Room.
Tips and tricks. Ooh, dang, that was loud.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll. So today's bid room meeting, we have half the team is out of state and another part of the team is sleeping. And so we are here doing what we do. Want to welcome, well, I'm going to introduce you guys to Heather McKinney. She is not here in the office yet this morning, but she did start on Monday. She is our office manager, contract manager. What else can we throw on her plate?
RFIs to the
She's got a lot of things landing on her plate in the next couple weeks. So you guys will be seeing her around here. And we couldn't be happier to get her on the team. It's all in our effort to continue to expand and provide the highest level of service that we can to all of our clients, our customers, and our partners. So again, I want to thank the Instagram Live crew for joining. That's where mine went off too. Didn't expect Instagram Live to be a big part of what we do, but it is. So I thank you guys for showing up every week. So our mission here at South Bay Grading is to take 100 contractors to 10 million in annual revenue by 2035. And we are well on our way with we got about 12 to 15 regular clients now.
Yep.
So super excited about that. And sorry, I got having some issues here with Instagram this morning. Doesn't love me anymore.
Yeah, it froze my screen and bumped everyone off. So.
AWS went down recently, so maybe it's a cloud. The cloud lords are having issues. Yeah.
It's a battle for cloud's domination.
Yeah.
This week, we've got a builders forum in the East Bay. It is at the Builders Exchange in Alameda Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock. We've got about 25 or 26 RSVPs on our side, and Pegbo's got about 30 on their side. So it should be a very well attended event. Do we know who on the general side is going to be there? No, he didn't share that with us yet, huh? Okay.
Probably some big names like usual.
Yeah, it's usually Swinnerton will be there, Webcor will be there, maybe Nibby and McCarthy,
yeah,
as well as South Bay Grading.
Yep.
So hope to see you guys there. Again, if you would like to RSVP, there is a link on the website, southbaygrading.com/something. You guys will find it. Or you can scan this code and that'll get you RSVP'd for the event on Thursday. Love to see you guys there. Oh, and there's another slide. Oh, this is for the NorCal.
Yeah,
So Sacramento, back on
we thought it was canceled.
Thursday,
It's not.
April 24th. So next week in Sac. We will be there. If you're in the Sacramento area, this would be a great event to attend. Last time we were up there, it was a great crowd, nice facility. Parking's a little tough, but other than that, it was great. So if you'd like to join us in Sacramento, we will be there next week. So our estimating stats, we are up to $24 million in estimates. We have 2 pending projects, so they have not hit the books yet. We are at 9 projects awarded out of 37, and we've got 2.1 million out of the 24 million that we have bid, with 2 million sitting right now in the what do we
Pending?
call it? The pending apparent low. So we should be looking pretty good here in a couple of weeks when we get to put those on the books. Jobs that are coming up. We've got 2 bridges in Antioch that we are bidding for Tri-Point Homes. We've got a large campus, industrial campus development in Fremont that bids. When's that one bid, Jared?
On the 24th.
On the 24th. Tri-Point bids this week, and then we've got a Walmart in Milpitas that bids on the 18th. We turned one in for Roner Park. Was that last week or Monday?
That was on Friday.
On Friday. We're getting a lot of invites from Walmart, from Shames specifically. A lot of opportunity there. They are remodeling Walmarts every day, everywhere. Shames does about 25 to 30 of them per year, and they're looking to expand, but they need somebody to get in there and do the work. So right now, the reason Kevin is not here is because he is working in Union City at the Walmart project of Shames, doing interior demo work, and South Bay Grading is doing the exterior curb, gutter, sidewalk, and asphalt work with Bosco Co. Up in Union City. So Kevin is running the night shift, and we're here during the day. So it's been great to get the opportunity to work with Shames, work with Bosco, and see Kevin's business grow. And it's been really cool to see. So if you guys need any information about these projects, Jared's the guy to talk to. Oh, we did get some shots of Jacaranda. So this from, oh man, what a view. Man, that's crazy. I love that view. So this is in Hillsborough.
Yeah.
So this project came through Miranda's Landscaping. Miranda's Landscaping started out as a Lane equipment customer. Then they have started bringing work to South Bay Grading. So we got this project last year, actually, and we've got Mills Development out there currently doing the grading and installing the storm drain. So great project. It is a really incredible view. I didn't realize that San Francisco Airport's literally like right there. Once they trim the trees up, you can see it. So it's pretty cool. All right, well, we've got navigating challenges with owners and general contracts brought to you by Aaron Hosmer.
All right, so I just wanted to go through a couple things for all of you guys out there that are, wanting to dodge some of the pitfalls that can happen on a job site. There's some things you can do to keep your ducks in order and make sure that when you're called to recall info, you know how to go back, and you've got a system in place to look up the info and back up your costs for extra work. So first item, daily report for every workday. You should be doing a daily safety meeting, taking pictures every day, and it's as simple as date, weather, safety meeting, guys on site, hours worked, equipment mobilized and utilized, material, and then what you did. If you installed this or that, you built this wall, you dug this hole. So daily reports every single day. Any conversation in the field that you have with a representative of your client, owner, GC, you should follow up with an email to memorialize what you talked about. Two people, Sean's talked about this before, two people can have a conversation and remember totally different things. So it's always good to get the conversation in an email. It kind of functions as a transmittal used to, just like a receipt of what was talked about. When it comes to extra work, if you're talking about extra work, make sure you get approval before you start. If you see something that needs to be done, you don't want to just go in and start doing it before they give you a directive, because that can leave you holding the bag. So you want to get daily tags signed by the superintendent every day for any extra work you do. Use an AI note taker for Zoom meetings. We use TLDV. As you can see, my note taker is probably on here right now. This thing just saved me in a recent dispute with a general contractor and a difficult owner on a public works job down in Gilroy, where we talked about, they directed us to do something, and they directed an engineer we hired to design a system in a certain way. So we did. And when we installed it that way, they were talking about flanges for fire risers. It was to be a foot above finished concrete, and now they want them down in boxes. And we found out the day after we installed it, and they don't think it's an extra. So I had to pull up my TLDV AI note taker and send them clips of the meeting where everyone was on the meeting. And on that, I didn't get oh, you're right, Aaron. They just stopped talking about it. So they don't expect to be vindicated when you're right about these things, or you can back it up. Just to kind of, the best you can hope for is the problem goes away and they keep their hand out of your pocket, Sometimes, so ask stupid questions. I'll ask questions. Sometimes it's kind of like that classroom setting where the first day of class, second day, people are afraid to raise their hand, but then there's that one kid who just raises his hand all the time. That girl that doesn't care, who's just asks a bunch of questions. And because most of the time when you're asking a question, other people are thinking the same thing. So I sometimes just say things even at the risk of looking dumb, and it stimulates conversation, aligns people, gets people talking. So you kind of want to break that ice sometimes, and stupid questions are a decent way to break down those barriers. I mentioned this a second ago. Take lots of pictures. Every time I go to a job site, as I approach the job, I get out, I take a step back, and I take pictures of the whole approach from every side. Part of that is like, oh, you damaged the road coming in. And if you want to get everything, so not just super zoomed up, you want to take some macro shots and then get up close. So multiple angles, there's never an amount that's too many pictures to take. And then put them in a folder on your OneDrive or your cloud, so that by date, so you can go back and find them later. That's the most important thing, is being able to find it when you need it. For project managers and superintendents, communicate conflicts ahead of time so your work doesn't stop due to deliveries, other contractors working in your area. When your PMs or supers are on site, typically the way I think about it is I'm thinking about what's happening next week while the workers in the field are working on what's happening today. So you want to be living in the future, and then let your guys handle the day-to-day. Obviously, if they have questions of what's going on, yes, you would deal with what's going on today, but you need to be having a futuristic look when you're out there to see what is going to slow us down. Know your budget, know the plans, know what needs to happen next. That's kind of a couple things that I just wanted to point out for everyone.
Yeah, Aaron does a really good job of documenting conversations, these AI tools that join you in meetings. I mean, that saved us probably, I don't know, $5,000 or $6,000 because we got everybody on a meeting agreeing to install these risers at 12 inches above finish. And then what, 5-6 weeks later, they're changing their minds.
Yeah.
And then nobody remembers the meeting or conversation, but
Yeah.
they can't argue with the video. So, but yeah, the best tool that you have is your camera, and just make it part of your daily habit to just get the notes done, get them taken, download the pictures so they're somewhere where everybody can get to them. And think about those conversations that you have on site. Get them, just send them an email back saying, hey, per our conversation, I just want to make sure I understood it properly. Get all the bullet points in there, because they're either going to reply and say, yeah, that's what we talked about, or they're going to say, actually, this is what I wanted, right? But if you don't do that follow-up, then you just continue to move apart, and you always want to try to stay together as much as possible on these issues, because projects are always they're always moving quickly. Everybody's got a deadline. Everybody's working against the clock. And in the heat of just trying to get it done, a lot of times we'll feel compelled to just go do it. But at least get an email saying, yeah, hey, we're directing you to do this work. Track it T&M. And then get your tag signed so that nobody can come back 6 weeks down the road when you're trying to build things out, tell you that they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because people forget, attitudes change. You may have a cool superintendent, your buddy, and then something happens and all of a sudden he doesn't remember, or he's mad at you, and that just went away, and you don't have anything to show to the PM, who's probably a different person, or the senior PM who doesn't know what's happening out there,
Yeah.
And it just poof, it's gone,
And he could just have somebody above him saying, no.
Yeah.
And he's stuck, right? So
Yeah.
Always get things documented. That's your best defense against getting people from sticking their hand in your pocket.
One more thing on that documented, when going back and forth, there's a lot of, obviously, texting and phone calls happen. Just make it a point to, if that I've got this one superintendent who texts me a lot of stuff, hey, do this and do that, and every time when it's like an actual directive, I say, hey, just put it in an email and shoot it over, no problem, but I need it, just send me the email,
Yeah, got to try to keep things in a location that you can access them easily.
Yeah.
And share them with everybody. That's hard to do that with text messages. All right, what's next? We have a guest speaker. Aaron, I'm going to let you take over.
Yep. Let me share my screen here. I'll pull up Jennifer's presentation in PowerPoint. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Let's go. All right, Jennifer.
Perfect. So my video's like weird. So I'm like sideways, I guess. I don't know what I did with my phone. So I'm sitting here looking at a job site. Thank you for your patience as I was driving over to that and getting ready. Really happy to be invited to speak today. Aaron and I were chatting about probably a month ago about this meeting and goals, and I think a lot of people on this call are in alignment with some of the things I'm going to be presenting. So I'm Jennifer Blake. I'm the Safety and Environmental Compliance Manager for Shea Northern California Division. There's 7 of us across the nation. We're in, North Carolina, Texas, Colorado, Washington, San Diego, Arizona, Nevada. And so we all, meet once a year together, and monthly, and we're all pretty much the same. So one of the neat things about Shea is you just go from site to site and you'll see the same things, because we all carry the same kind of corporate missions and directives when it comes to safety. So next slide. One of the things when you're developing a safety program that's pretty important is you got to find your why. That would go for really any program. Why are you doing it? If you're doing it just because it's a regulation and Cal OSHA says that you need to do that, your program will be subpar. You'll have it by program only and by maybe a piece of paper and some training rosters and that sort of thing, but the employees are not going to live and breathe that. So one of the things with Shea Homes, we've been around for quite a long time. We started in the tunneling business way back when, and that's actually where the safety program started. Unfortunately, the Shea family had quite a few deaths on the tunneling projects, even some family members, and they just, they stopped work and developed the safety program back then, way back when. And then that's really where all of our history with this started and what sets us apart from everybody else. So we really, really, really want everybody to go home from our sites, actually everywhere. We're on a mission to change the construction industry in general when it comes to this. We want everybody to leave in the same way that they came to us, even better, because at the end of the day, a lot of our field managers will say this all the time. And I say it, we're at work for 6, 8, 10, 12 hours, sometimes even longer, 18 hours to depending on the job. And our families are at home waiting for us to come back, and they want us to come back in the same way that we arrived at work. So this is on all of our sites out here in NorCal, this sign when your employees come out. This is one of the things they'll see, along with a lot of our rules and kind of things that we stand by. Next slide. So one of the things that you can do to really elevate your game, we are Shea Homes, we're in constant improvement. We want to be better, and we want to learn, any gaps and any inefficiencies and that sort of thing. And the only way that you can really do that when it comes to safety is to open yourself up to being vulnerable with Cal OSHA consultation. So this is our Serenity job site in Livermore. It's right down the street from a De Nova Homes site and a bunch of other commercial builds that are going on right off of 580 in Portola. So this was our first Cal OSHA consultation site that we started August of 2024. And we are knee deep in regular visits, unscheduled, scheduled, but Cal OSHA consultation, which I'll go more into that, and then also trade partner reviews. So this VPP is called the Voluntary Protection Program with Cal OSHA. You basically are brought under the veil of protection with Cal OSHA from enforcement. It's 2 different entities funded by 2 different programs. Enforcement cannot come on your site while you're under this protection. It's a playground for safety and trying to be better. And the trade partners that join us on this get reviewed as well, and they have a chance to win the Golden Gate Award. We've already had 2 Golden Gate Award winners on this Serenity project, Silvermark Construction and Easy Electric, and we have many more in line to be reviewed for the rest of this year. Next slide.
Uh-oh, one sec. There we go. Whoops.
So the other site that we have, I don't have a picture of it. It's our Enclave site down in Seaside, and our Marina location as well, which we just kicked off a few months ago. But this is just a big shout out to our Cal OSHA consultation team. Gary MacGyver is the senior safety engineer in the Northern California area. So he covers Sacramento kind of down to Monterey area. And then Aston is his counterpart in Los Angeles. And these are the names of the people that are helping us. Julie, Rod, Michelle, Claudia, Tara, and Levon, they're all just involved in reviewing our trade partners' IIPPs, putting on IIPP workshops, actually helping companies develop their IIPPs, because a lot of us use canned template programs. And one of the things that they're really all about is making sure that that's your company specific program. So these folks have been super helpful. If you're interested in doing a VPP or a Golden Gate at one of your sites, you'll have to get the GC's kind of approval with that. And I can help direct you, and Aaron can get you my contact information if that's something that you're interested in. But again, it's the only way to level up your safety game, to find out where all your gaps are and then learn new things. So I think the next slide is some of the stuff that we've learned. So first thing, I mean, this is more on the framing side, but the OSHA is now aligned with the feds on fall protection. So we've been, that was our last kind of cowboyish regulation that we've been able to wield around out here. Where we had 12 feet, 15 feet, and all these other different situations, which was really just confusing. Basically, the feds came in at the end of this year and told everybody, all the framers and the roofers, and anybody that's up in those levels doing that kind of work, so even our HVAC and gutter folks, that you basically just need to be tied off at 6 feet. So there's no more 12 and 15. So we're navigating that. The best thing with this is having two playgrounds, Marina and Serenity, is our trade partners get to test things. They get to test new equipment, new fall protection equipment, without being scrutinized by OSHA enforcement. And actually OSHA consultations there with us, and they're looking at the equipment too. And they're bringing all of that back to enforcement to show them, this is how you guys can do it. And this is what you should be seeing. We have a very strong feeling that July 1st, when this regulation goes into full effect, that there's going to be, along with heat sweeps, which we're all familiar with during the high heat months, they're going to be looking at everybody's fall protection. So another thing we learned is IIPPs in the foreman's trucks or in containers that are offsite is not sufficient access for employee IIPPs. If you can digitize your IIPP and get it on your employees' phones, post it on your website, somehow get it into their hands directly, that is the best way. It has to be unobstructed access. So an employee, this is kind of old school. And this is something that we learned at Shea Homes too. You know, if it's on the foreman's truck, the employees know to go to the foreman's truck. They should not have to ask the foreman for the keys to get to the truck to get to their IIPP. So that's why QR codes and digitizing, putting things on websites is just the way to go. So that's kind of a new one. T1 permit annual notification form for every project. If you have one of these permits, even if you're doing just small trenching, some of the plumbers and some of our landscapers hold these permits. If you're doing major trenching, you should be familiar with this, but that annual permit comes with an a notification, an activity notification form that you basically have to fax in or email in to OSHA saying, hey, we're using this, our annual permit at this site at this time. So you only need to do it once for when you show up and you finish your project and you're done, but it is a regular notification, and it's something that OSHA says people hardly do. They don't necessarily get this done, particularly the smaller trades like plumbers and landscapers. Daily trench logs are required. You can add that to your daily JHAs that you've properly shored, benched, sloped those trenches and inspected them prior to employees getting in, and that you have your escape ladders or escape routes organized. If it's not documented, then it never happened, even though folks say, oh yeah, I looked at it before I sent my guys in there. They want to see it on paper. So eye wash stations within 10 seconds running. If you're doing any cement work or there's eye-threatening activity, which is pretty much on every construction job site, because if we have wind and dust is going into everybody's eyes, Everybody should be equipped with an eye wash station. If you work with your GCs and they have it on site, it needs to be movable. Sometimes you might need 2 or more of those things. And the eye wash bottles are not considered full eye wash stations. They are temporary solutions. So there's new disposal methods for actuated tools. We didn't know that you can't just put it into a bucket of water and then throw it out. You actually have to now have that hauled off as hazmat if you don't, if you have any kind of misfires, or you can just use the tool properly and not have any misfires and inspect it, and then it's just plastic at that point. Silica dust with natural occurring concrete and natural occurring asbestos, road base, that sort of thing, cement, a lot of the building products that are out there have this stuff in it. They have a real big focus on silica right now, particularly with stone, natural occurring stone, and then any kind of manufactured stone. So decorative stone on outside of buildings, and then even countertops and kitchens have about 99% silica in them, which is more than cement. And it's pretty dangerous, gross stuff. And then a few things that should be familiar to most of you guys, but it is important to have a wildfire protection program. Everyone says, well, what if we're not building near a wildfire? It's confusing. It's actually for wildfire smoke. And what do we do to protect the workers when smoke is coming from an adjacent wildfire, whether it even be Southern California or North, far North California, and it descends on the job site? Do we send people home? We're monitoring the air quality on our phones. Do we put everybody in full respirators, or do we just, stop work? You got to have a program that lists out all of that. And then the other one that they're focusing on is workplace violence. Cal OSHA has a focus on this because it's a problem, and it actually is a recordable incident if you end up having, and a reportable incident if you end up having someone coming on site to do harm and actually does cause harm. That's definitely a workers' comp case, and then also have to be reported to OSHA. So just a few things that we've learned. Again, my contact information is available if you guys want to learn anything more, because we're constantly reviewing these, our programs through these 2 playground sites that we have. Next. Oh, and then, if you do happen to work on one of our VPP sites, we bring our trade partners along, and the sub-tier trades as well, to be reviewed, and then you can have a chance to win the Golden Gate Award, which is actually really cool marketing, and it is prestigious. So.
We lost her,
Do we?
the sound.
Is she there?
Yeah, she's talking.
Jennifer, I think we lost you on the sound.
Very strict rules when it comes to cleaning and eating on site and cleaning up after yourself. We have regular weekly safety and SWPPP meetings where the foremen are on site and must be present, superintendents as well. It's a regular meeting where we go over safety and SWPPP. We have a new SWPPP topic and a new safety topic that we present. Parking is tough at some of our job sites, so they are in designated areas. We often build small rock or purchase parking at adjacent lots, rock lots, just to make everything easy for everybody. Cal OSHA has a regulation out there for no gas cans over 2 gallons. I know this might sound strange, especially in kind of our horizontal and offsite work that we've got, because 2 gallons doesn't go very far. You can have a larger fuel tank, so long as it's secondary contained, but smaller containers have to have secondary containment and cannot be over 2 gallons. So fire extinguishers have to be certified.
all things you guys are probably aware of, but trades must provide plastic for stockpiles and containments, designated washouts for concrete, no washing in soil and surrounding areas. That's the other thing we take pride on is SWPPP. So I think that's the next slide. Well, actually, no, that's after that. But our SWPPP compliance is pretty extensive. So we will never be questioned on budget when it comes to safety or SWPPP items. We will overspend in both of those categories to make sure everyone is safe and that the environment is protected. So one other thing to keep in mind with your injury and illness prevention program, so just a little bit back to safety, is, and this is something that we've learned through our VPP, is that your IIPP should be maximum 10 pages, maybe even less. Gone are the days of the 25, 45, 55, 155 page safety programs. They have to be simple and they have to be written in the language for everybody to understand. So it's a living document. You also have to, with the 8 elements of an IIPP, you need to have all of the items to pressure test those 8 elements to make sure that they're alive every day. So a lot of that work is through your daily JHAs, which have to be documented, your weekly rosters for your training topics, and if you have any kind of QR code inspections or access to programs to keep them alive and accessible, those are all things that will help you get a golden gate and will help you pass any kind of CalOSHA enforcement activity. So just a reminder about the annual trench permits, first aid certification, scaffolding competent person, and any other kind of competent person for trenching and confined space. When you come on work on a Shea Homes job site, we also have a training onboarding. South Bay Grading, you guys have taken some of those courses. They're pretty extensive with the safety and the SWPPP expectations. And then we give out safety cards and hard hat stickers once those are all complete, which tell our field team that the trade that's coming on site is trained and ready to go. And we have that expectation. So next slide. Okay, so back to SWPPP. So these are just some of our general SWPPP rules. We take this very seriously, safety extremely seriously, and then SWPPP is right behind that. We will not be that builder that has a $250,000 fine for not putting a construction entrance in, or having site perimeter controls. And so we just ask that our trade partners respect the BMPs that we put in place, and that we're constantly communicating with our trades weekly on when we're going to be spraying slopes or installing wattle or the fabric or the geotextile BMPs and that sort of thing. So our sites are extremely clean. We have regular street sweeping, and we require that our trades also clean up after themselves every day, and then daily inspections. Next one. So, you know, these are smaller pieces of equipment, but one thing that we learned recently with the California Water Board inspection for our stormwater program is that heavy equipment and any small equipment like this has to have secondary containment underneath it when it's being stored. So obviously not when it's in use, but when it's parked overnight or parked for extensive amounts of days, it needs to have secondary containment. This isn't common. You probably aren't seeing this. I haven't seen a drain pan big enough to hold a scraper or rotor and all of that hydraulic fluid and diesel or fuel. And I haven't seen something like that. So we're asking for at least the areas where the potential could leak for a large drip pan. They do make some drive-on drive on secondary containment for some smaller pieces of equipment, not really large ones. But this is, you can see that our folks have even gone so far as making the plastic ones with wattle and plywood and plastic. So just something that's different about us. And we're all about the protecting the employees, but we're also very, very, very in tune with making sure that the environment around us is extremely safe and protected as well. And I think that's it.
That is it.
Awesome, Jennifer. I appreciate you joining us today and
Yep.
sharing, the details of, the Shea way and the things you guys have done over the years to improve in safety and in environmental protection. It seems at times like those can be very daunting tasks, but the important part is to start. If you're just getting going, just start taking stock of where you're at and start looking for opportunities to improve your safety plan, get started with the basics. There are lots of companies out there that can help you with your IIPP plans. And obviously, the resources here, you can reach out to Aaron and myself, and we can help guide you towards the right places to be. Our experience with Shea Homes was a I want to call it a game changer for us. It's easy to see something that's this extensive and all these requirements and say back away from it, just be like, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. But if you go into a program, you work with somebody like Shea and you learn how to elevate your game to their level, that just makes you better all the way around. I mean, it's bringing you into an opportunity that you're not going to get if you don't participate. But it also shows, you're going to learn something. And, we all want to send our people home in as good or better shape than they showed up. And you don't do that by accident. You really do have to be intentional. And Shea is very intentional about what they do and how they do it. So we've really enjoyed going through the process. We learned a lot, and it has caused us to elevate our game. And I appreciate that. So thank you, Jennifer, for spending all the time with us to get through all that. And it's been a real pleasure, and we can't wait to actually get boots on the ground with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing too that's different with Shea than most builders, the builders require all these things. They send you a list, or they don't send you a list while you're bidding and then onboarding, and then they kind of just let you do your thing. One of the things that's different with us is that we're engaged. We're engaged with your office and your on-site personnel, and on a very regular basis. And if there are any questions that come up, or hey, I don't have a heat onus program I have one that's really outdated. Can you help us write it? Can you help us organize it? Can you put us in touch with someone? We want you to be better, and we want all of our subs to be better, because we're in this long game of changing the construction world in general when it comes to safety and SWPPP. So we pull out all the resources for all of our subs, because especially the ones that want to walk that walk with us. So we demand a lot, but we have so much help for you, if that makes sense. So
yeah. My experience with Jennifer, she's super easy to talk to and work with, and I'm used to seeing an IIPP binder that's like this thick, right? And so she reviewed our plan, pointed out what we needed, and I started going through, and I had this massive, plan for the smoke and the workplace violence. And then she went through it and said, well, what are you actually going to do? Like, you need this, and this, but what's realistic? Let's just make it that, and so I was able to trim a 26-page document down to a couple pages and make it something that was I could actually understand, so what they're doing is super logical, and it was actually kind of refreshing because a lot of the people that have been around construction before, the IIPP is kind of like this big book of stuff that you may not even know what's in there. And, they're going for something different, which is refreshing. It's realistic,
Yep.
Combining the field and the management together.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, you ready to rock and roll through the rest of this? I think I'm working on it, man. Oh, you need to stop sharing.
Oh, my bad. I thought I did.
Do you?
That's
Jared.
yeah.
All right, next slide, please. All right, so we've spent a lot of time in this meeting. So we are going to quickly go through the rest. I do have a neighborhood hand story to share. I'm going to keep it for next week. We are doing a program at Guadalupe Gardens on the 19th, this Saturday, 7:30 a.m. Show up, pitch in, and learn more about your unhoused neighbors. So the only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Yeah, we've all been there, baby. So we're running a little late today, so you guys know book club will be as soon as we're done with this meeting. We are in chapter 9 of 9-Figure Mindset with Brandon Dawson, the birth of Cardone Ventures. Remember, guys, the only way to lose or to fail is to quit. So, don't quit, keep pushing. You will get to your goals. And there's definitely one way not to get there, and that's to quit. So don't be a quitter. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you staying on for the extended time. We will be back again next week. Again, if you guys are enjoying the artwork provided by Stephen Hosmer, you can scan the code, and there are various works of art to purchase. So feel free to scan the code or just get a hold of Aaron. He knows the guy. All right. Let's see here. Where are we? Today, Jesse, it's good to see you today. Marie, always a pleasure, and I appreciate what you're doing with Neighborhood Hands. I saw Scotty was here, but it looked like he had to bounce. We got Drew with Stoke Signs. Thanks for joining us, Drew. And then Noah Oakmount was here. I appreciate all you guys showing up, and we'll see you again next week. Appreciate it.